let's talk about the ass whooping that Florida State put on Virginia yesterday, because that was we saw it yesterday. Why Florida State is the best team in the ACC.
Yeah, they're big, they're strong, they're athletic, they're all those things. Like, they look like men, they're older, all that. And the other thing with this Florida State team, they can shoot the shit out of the basketball. Like, that's the X factor for me with this Florida State team. Like, I've never believed in the past they've been a great shooting team. Like, they've had great shooters, but they've never had this type of overall shooting. I mean, MJ Walker, like, he shoots the shit out of it now. Like, they got enough dudes. Everybody can shoot it. And again, they're good defensively. They're athletic. They're versatile. They've got bigs that aren't great. They're not like the bigs that we remember them having, right? These huge, massive 7-foot, either you know, the John Krefts or the Solomon Alibi, like those guys. They don't really have those anymore, but they just got good pieces, and they play together, and they play hard, and they're tough, and they shoot the shit out of it.
Yeah, and Boss is pretty good and pretty big, but he's more of a – I mean, he's more of like a Euro big. Like, he'll step out and knock down a jumper. Like, he had one move yesterday where he crossed someone up and put the ball between his legs and drove past Sam Hauser and drew a foul, which is not exactly the greatest sign in the world for Sam Hauser's perimeter defense. Raekwon Gray is, like, without a doubt, one of my favorite players in the country. We've talked about this, Jeff. When you're 6'8", 260, and you play the point, like, you're going to be awesome.
Two big, strong dudes that can make plays for other people, in Raekwon Gray and Scotty Barnes. Like, those are two men. Like, and you get that type of passing ability from guys at positions that you just don't normally see it from. That's a major advantage.
Yeah, and we also saw really what the Achilles heel is for Virginia. They were overwhelmed physically by the size of Florida State, and that's where their weakness is. You know, when Kihei Clark is able to go up against someone where he can kind of get into the paint and he can create stuff off the bounce, he can be effective. Like, he getting him into the lane and letting him find a shooter on the perimeter is a very effective way for Virginia to get offense, right? Especially because, you know, we talked about it yesterday. All of their best shooters, all of their floor spacers are bigs. Yeah. So when Jay Huff is out beyond the three-point line, and Sam Hauser is beyond the three-point line, and Trey Murphy's beyond the three-point line, then all of the guys that would normally be helping and trying to prevent Kihei from, you know, scoring in the paint, they have to go chase around shooters on the perimeter. It's a weird kind of roster construction. But if Kihei cannot get by his man, if he's got a 6'7" Scotty Barnes on him, he's completely ineffective. So that's
again, my big thing was I've questioned Virginia all season long. Their best win is at Clemson. That's their best win. Like, they have no right being in the top 10 in any ranking anywhere. No right. And we are going to have a special guest on Thursday to talk a little bit about that. I'm not going to tell you. You don't know who it is. I haven't told you. All I've told you is we're going to have a special guest on Thursday on this stream on Best Bets. It's going to be the first cameo, the first guest that we've brought on. And I'm going to start mixing it up a little bit. I'm tired of looking at your mug and your mug alone. So I'm bringing on a special guest Thursday and Saturday. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that. Trust me, it'll be entertaining.
Great. You got anything else to add about this? I'm not
the best team in the league. They're the best team in the league. And I now believe, here's what I think. I think, Rob. I now think Florida State is a team that is capable of making a deep run. I did not think that before last night.
I can see it a little bit. The one thing I'm a little bit worried about is, like, they're not as good defensively as they've been in the past. They can overwhelm people, but they're not an elite defensive team. Like, they're big and athletic, but they do a lot. They give up a lot of points. You know, it's not the thing about last year was that their communication was incredible. They didn't make any mistakes on that end of the floor. This year, it's not so much that. Like, there'll be times when they have Scotty Barnes is running at the wrong guy. You have the wrong person in rotation, or you're not switching where you're supposed to be. So there's teams are able to get a little bit more open looks, but
they're still pretty good.
They're really good. I don't
you got to give up a little on the defensive end because they are better offensively than they've been.
You know what I like? So it's kind of like Ohio State in a sense, in that what you want to do in this era of basketball is get guys that are in that kind of like 6'5" to 6'8" range, that are all big, that can all shoot, that can all play different positions, right? Florida State's figured that, like, Leonard Hamilton's been doing this forever. This is exactly what Ohio State's doing this year too, and
because you can switch everything.
You can switch everything. You can space the floor. Everybody on their roster is able to put the ball on the floor and make a play. It just, they're incredibly versatile, and it makes it incredibly difficult to run offense against them. And it's just, they're a really good, solid team that's not going to beat themselves, and they can match up. You're not going to find a mismatch for them. So that's kind of where I'm at with it. I still think that they're kind of a little bit below that, like. They're definitely not in the Michigan Michigan tier.
No,
and I think they're a little bit below like an Ohio State and kind of teams at that level. But yeah, I mean, I think they're a top 10 team.
Right. I think if you're doing the Dauster power rankings, you're putting them in the top 10.
Yeah, I think they're probably kind of in that like back end top 10 range. Here's the way I'll phrase it. Entering this game, it was what, like Virginia was 9th and Florida State was 18th or something like that.
Yeah,
I think that you flip-flop them. Yeah, like Florida State's probably back in top 10, like 11, 12, something like that. And Virginia's probably like the 19th, 20th best team in the country. I think that's kind of what it is.